This last video, we're going to look at joints in the hand here. But I actually want to start out with looking again at the proximal ulna radial joint and the radius scaffolding joint. So we have, I'm going to zoom in on this model. So we have the distal radius and the distal ulna. We looked at this in the elbow video. The head of the ulna articulates in the ulnar notch of the radius. And this allows for a pivot joint, so it can pronate and supinate. Now we have the fossa here. That fossa is the shape of the scaphoid. And this forms a condylar joint. We have a concave surface and a concave surface. According to your textbook, this condylar joint is only the scaphoid. I believe, looking at this picture and looking at skeletons, the lunate is involved. I have seen on the internet the lunate is involved. For your test, because your book says it's the scaphoid, it's the scaphoid. So that's a condylar joint. You could flex and extend, abduct and adduct. Now we're going to go over here. You have this little horseshoe on the first metatarsal, carpal, I mean. And you have a saddle here. So here's the view from the other side. It looks like we have a saddle there and a reverse saddle on the trapezium. This makes a saddle joint. It can go like, this bone can go that way, or it could slide that direction, or in the screen towards us. And again, we could see we have a nice shape here. The scaphoid fits in nicely for a condylar joint. Oh, look! There's the lunates. So, the rest of these joints between the carpals are going to be planar joints. And that allows for some gliding motion. Then we are going to go up here. This is the interphalange, or this is the phalange metacarpal joint. And again, we have a rounded structure. And we have a concave structure there. It allows for flexing and extending, abduction and adduction. It lets you wave and do the live long and prosper. Then lastly, our interphalange joint, those are hinge joints. So let's look at the 360 model now. So again, plays the rotation, up, left, right, and zoom. I'm going to go to the zoom mode. So here we can see that we have the concave structure that's going to fit in the fossa on the radius. We can see here we have our metacarpals are rounded and they fit into a concave surface that forms condylar joints. And here it's slightly different. Let's rotate a little bit. So that is going to form hinge joints. Now moving over here, you can see sort of a horseshoe on the trapezium, a rounded surface there. As we rotate, we see the opposite here. We have the up part of the horsey there, and then we have the saddle sitting on top of it. So this forms a saddle joint. So rotate it, really look at that, zoom in on it. I guess this is as zoomed in as I can get. So you have this sort of horseshoe-like cowboy and horseshoe feature that right there, that makes a saddle joint. And then the rest of these joints are planar joints. So those are the joints of the hand. Thank you.